Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very important live video update tonight. So the big news, obviously, of this week is the fact that AstraZeneca are withdrawing their COVID-19 vaccines from Europe and other countries. So if you haven't yet seen this article, I urge you to go and look it up. It is entitled AstraZeneca Withdrawing Its COVID-19 Vaccine in the European Union, Similar Move in More Countries to Follow. It comes just months after the vaccine manufacturer admitted it could cause a rare but serious side effect. An application to withdraw the vaccine in the European Union was made on March the 5th and came into effect on Tuesday, according to the Telegraph. Similar applications will be made by the company over the next few months in several other countries where the vaccine was approved, such as Australia. There is a link between the vaccine known as Vaxzevria and a rare but serious side effect called thrombosis and thrombocytopenia. And of course, anyone who's been watching these videos for any length of time will remember all the facts and figures and statistics I used to read out every week regarding those numbers. According to the Australian Department of Health, TTS involves blood clotting with low platelets. The blood clots can occur in parts of the body such as the brain or the stomach. The syndrome can cause long-term disability or death. Last month, AstraZeneca admitted for the first time in a UK court that its vaccine could cause the side effect. The company is currently being sued in a class action over claims its vaccine caused several cases of death and serious injury. The first case was lodged last year by a father of two who was left with a permanent brain injury where he developed a blood clot and a bleed on the brain after he received the vaccine in April 2021. AstraZeneca said the vaccine was being withdrawn for commercial reasons and that it was no longer being manufactured or supplied because there were now better vaccines suited to tackling new variants. It said the decision had nothing to do with the court case or its recent TTS admission. And if you genuinely believe that, let me know. I've got some great bridges for sale. So look, the fact that they freely admit that they are withdrawing these jabs for commercial reasons should tell you everything that you need to know. Okay, that's what it's all about. Now, obviously, I can't say too much on this video because the good old Facebook fact checkers will be out in force, no doubt, but I'm sure you can read between the lines and draw your own conclusions. Either way, in my view, and it's just my view, of course, this is a very positive step. So the other big news that came out this week was regarding a very significant malware threat warning for all Android users. That's Android phones and Android tablets that can actually cause numerous issues, including potentially enabling hackers to access your private banking information. So I urge you, if you use an Android device at all or know someone who does, look at this article. That is the title there. A warning for Android users over malware threat that can control phone and access bank details. Android users are being warned of a new type of malware connected to the Chrome internet browsing app, which has the potential to take control of users' phones and potentially access banking information. The new malware, named boycott, reportedly disguises itself as an update for Chrome. Once downloaded, it can allow cybercriminals to access sensitive personal data. According to Threat Fabric, the computer support company that discovered and named the bug, it possesses an extensive set of device takeover capabilities and poses a significant threat to the banking industry. Yet another reason why we don't ever want to go fully digital banking. Android users are warned to be on alert and to download only updates from official sources. Boycott reportedly uses techniques common with Android banking malware and overlays a bogus screen to capture users' credentials. Boycott is equipped with accessibility logging, which captures every event happening on the device: touches, swipes, information displayed, text input, and applications opened. All actions are logged and sent to the command and control server, effectively stealing any confidential data displayed or entered onto the compromised device. So this is very, very serious stuff. Boycott logs every event posing a threat to all applications installed on the device. The Australian Government's Cybersecurity Centre recommends Aussies check the privacy permissions carefully when installing new apps on their device, particularly for free apps. It also urges users to install apps only from reputable vendors. So again, very, very serious issues for people that might have downloaded those updates. So again, if you or anyone that you know uses an Android device, whether it's an Android phone, things like a Samsung, they're known as Android phones, or tablets that use the Android operating system, please make sure you pass that article around to them, or even better, this this entire video, and ensure that those people take those steps that they need to protect themselves, and of course, most importantly, their data. This is, of course, once again, a crystal clear example of why you should keep as little information as necessary on your phones and in those apps, and again, why you should do all banking in cash. And speaking, of course, of cash, we actually covered a story on Tuesday night's radio show regarding the boycott of Coles and Woolworths supermarkets over the weekend. And there was another media article that came out as well that specifically named our Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group, which was very exciting, making the mainstream media there in a positive light. That's the title of the article for those who want to look it up. It's entitled Woolworths and Coles Supermarkets Targeted in a New Cashless Bombshell. Pro-cash advocates are calling on all Australians to boycott Woolworths and Coles supermarkets nationally on Saturday, May the 4th. The Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group is leading the national movement that encourages consumers to avoid shopping at the supermarket giants. The Cash is King supporters have taken aim at Woolworths and Coles over recent changes to cash out policies and their decision to put more card-only self-serve registers in stores. In a flyer that's been widely circulated on social media, the group, which has more than 55,000 members, singled out Coles and Woolworths in the 24-hour strike. Avoid both stores on 4th of May, it reads. Give them no transactions at all. Support family businesses instead. May the 4th be with you. In response to the national boycott, one pro-cash supporter called on shoppers to steer clear of even more stores on the National Day of Action. I don't see why we shouldn't boycott all majors: Aldi, Big W, Kmart, Coles, Woolies, IKEA, Harvey Normal, Amazon, etc., and only buy from the independent guys, the small business independent holder, she added. The movement has attracted widespread support on social media, with many saying they'd be avoiding Coles and Woolies on May the 4th. I agree. Small businesses are really struggling at the moment, and what we should really be putting our money into. Otherwise, they die out and the giants have even more power. Another added, this is happening worldwide. The elites don't want you to use cash. And that, of course, is what that entire agenda and cashless push is all about. So it was obviously really great to see the mainstream media outlets promoting our Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group. Please, you should find a link going up in the comment section if you're watching this on something other than Facebook. Again, just jump on Facebook, do a search for Call Out Cashless Businesses, and you'll find that Facebook group. And let's keep naming and shaming those businesses that refuse to accept cash, and of course promoting those that do choose to accept it. And make sure as well you join the Cash is King discussion group. Again, you'll find it on Facebook. And let's keep sharing these ideas, the push for the cashless agenda, the digital IDs, the CBDCs, all those sorts of things, so people are aware of what's really going on. Now, there was even another much smaller article that also mentioned our same group that one of our members posted to that actual page as well. So this was posted over the weekend, and I'm not sure what publication it came from. It says something about the Sunday Mail, so I'm not sure where that is, but you might be able to find it. It was entitled Cash Clash is Registering. A group of pro-cash advocates boasting more than 50,000 members is calling on Australians to boycott Coles and Woolworths stores over the country over their payment policies. Members of the Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group issued an appeal on Saturday for people to avoid the supermarket giants and support a family business instead. Backers described the boycott as important and said it showed they won't be controlled. Some in the Facebook community claim the shift to cashless shopping is financial fascism. And I would certainly agree with that. Coles and Woolworths have been targeted over their prioritisation of automation and cashless payments. So again, another really great article that names that group, and hopefully that generates lots more members. And I know, unfortunately, it will mean a bit more work for our admin guys and girls that are helping us out with that. But the more members we can get, the more we can spread this message around, the better it's going to be. So, speaking of cash and money, which we know obviously is all that traffic fines are really all about, I've got another article to share with you that shows another very clear reason why you should challenge every fine that you get. So this is actually straight off the Victoria Police website, and there are other similar articles in pretty much every other state. This is happening more and more. This particular one is entitled, Two Men Charged After Driving Vehicles with Cloned Plates. The pair face a string of charges relating to theft, police pursuit, using false plates, and dangerous driving. Two men have been charged with driving a stolen vehicle at excessive speeds with false plates attached to it too. According to Victoria Police, officers spotted the Ford Falcon while it was travelling along Coburns Road in Melbourne's west, before it entered the Western Freeway on 30th of April. Cops gave chase and attempted to stop the vehicle, which was heading in the direction of Ballarat Airport, but the driver did not comply with police directions. A 43-year-old man has been charged with multiple offences relating to vehicle theft, dangerous driving, police pursuit, failure to follow police directions, excessive speeding, using false plates, and going equipped to steal. A second 40-year-old man has also been charged with car theft and going equipped with tools to steal. Both have been bailed and are expected to appear on Sunshine Magistrates Court on 20th of September. So, why do I mention that article? The reason that I refer to it is, as I said before, we keep hearing more and more and more of these stories of people driving around with these cloned plates. And as the police admitted in that article, in this instance, they were also speeding excessively. So this is what I want you to consider. What happens when one of these people with these cloned plates drives past a speed camera at those excessive speeds, trigger the camera, okay, and then the owners of the original plates that these plates were cloned from then obviously just automatically get sent a significant fine, and obviously depending on what speeds, how excessive the speeds are, they could also receive a potential immediate loss of license as well. I mean, the stress and the hassle that causes completely innocent motorists who've done absolutely nothing wrong is simply never, ever factored in or even cared about by the police and these traffic camera officers. They just keep, continuing to roll out their, AI detection systems, their automated systems, and continue issuing these incorrect, invalid and unlawful fines without a care in the world for the ramifications that actually causes in the real world for completely innocent motorists. Now, personally, I believe, and again, it's just my belief, but I believe that we need to get rid of all of these insidious automated cameras, which clearly exist, just purely to raise revenue. That's all they're about. And not only that, but they get things wrong all the time. We're always reading out articles of these fines were issued incorrectly, this person got off a fine, this person challenged it and had it withdrawn because it wasn't done correctly. It happens all the time. And what we need to do is we need to go back to a proper system of policing where there are more police actually physically out on the roads, actually pursuing those kinds of dangerous drivers, people who are driving dangerously at excessive speeds, driving erratically, all those sorts of things. They're the ones they need to be targeting, and then giving them the power and the authority to use their discretion, okay, and just simply issue warnings for these minor offences, 5 and 6 Ks over, which automatically would just trigger a camera, instead of just stopping the driver saying, hey, you were a little bit over and just slow down, I'm just going to give you a warning, and get the message across nicely like that, okay? These snap-happy cameras that have no discretion, no checks and balances, and they're essentially just licenses to just keep printing money, for these state governments. That's my position. Get rid of these cameras. Let's get more real police on the streets, and let's actually do something that's going to genuinely make our roads safer, rather than something that's just going to make the state government coffers richer. Now, unfortunately, until that happens though, I would urge you, please make sure you grab a copy of that Aussie Speeding Fines book and challenge every unjust and unlawful and questionable fine that you receive. Use that tried, tested and proven 3-step process from chapter 3 of that Aussie Speeding Fines book. Again, you find a link in the comment section. You should also find a link in the actual description to this video. Please grab that, and let's keep pushing back. And again, as I've said many times before, once the money stops rolling in, then they'll be forced to look at some of these ideas that we and the Aussie Speeding Fines guys and all the rest of it keep putting out there. Now, speaking of the Aussie speeding fines process, I'm going to finish off tonight by going through the latest testimonials from some of our members, and of course some more really great memes to get people thinking. Now, the first one is actually from a member who successfully challenged a parking fine from the City of Melbourne. Now, what's great about the City of Melbourne is they love to send these threatening letters to people who use the ASF process or our letters, and say, oh, we've seen these internet-based letters before and no one's ever successful and no one ever has them, withdrawn or beaten in court, and you should just pay up. Well, clearly that's not quite right, because as David writes in, and you can see here, that's his email, and there's his crystal clear attachments, and he says, hi, I'm writing to let you know I have a successful outcome with City of Melbourne, and then there's the letter from City of Melbourne on their actual letterhead there. And it says, Dear David, infringement notice, thank you for contacting us about the fine. Our records confirm that an error was made by the parking officer who issued the fine for the incorrect offence. Again, these things happen all the time. The fine has been withdrawn and we apologise for any inconvenience caused. A withdrawal notice is enclosed and no further action is required by you. And then there's an official withdrawal notice laid out as per statute, which is officially says that it's all been withdrawn and no money needs to be paid, no further action will be taken. So again, this clearly shows that process definitely does work. Now, the second one that I'm going to go through was actually hand delivered to us at our Sydney events that we conducted over the weekend, which I'll get back to in a moment. But he handed us actually a testimonial from a friend of his. So this is actually the friend of one of the people that attended, and he was in Sydney, and this one occurred in Victoria. But he then emailed us and said, yeah, it's perfectly fine for you to use the testimonial. It says, hi Mike and the team at Know Your Rights Group. A mate of mine, Ryan, got snapped by a fixed speed camera in Melbourne and asked for my help. So with the assistance of the ASF Step 1 template letter, it was properly sent off and properly sent off again due to the receiver's end. Later, a fine deregistration was sent out cancelling the matter. Interestingly, it stated not suited to a person. Perhaps the office clerks were made up of straw men. A topic addressed in your recent Sydney seminar that was well covered. It's also a win-win, as my cousin is a lawyer and proprietor of a law firm in Queensland, so now I have the pleasure of bragging rights and intend to rub it in at every opportunity. Now I've unofficially passed the bar. Regards, Gavin. And then that's the letter. It says, Dear Ryan, deregistered by review officers exercising powers delegated by the Director of Fines Victoria. Notice of deregistration of infringement fine, and then it's got the obligation number. At the request of the Traffic Camera Office, Fines Victoria is no longer enforcing the infringement fine. Any enforcement action Fines Victoria has taken on this fine has been cancelled. Traffic Camera Office will advise you if they intend to take any further action. You can contact the enforcement agency directly if you have any questions, any further questions, blah, blah, blah. So again, another official withdrawal letter. So again, that three-step process absolutely does work if you send those letters out within the requisite time frame. You can't just ignore fines and bury them in the bottom drawer and pile stuff on them and just hope they go away. Okay, they never ever go away. You need to be proactive. You need to deal with them head on, and that's obviously the best way to do that. Now, I obviously mentioned before our Sydney events over the weekend. These were some of the most fun events that we have ever run. We had a really, really great group of people there. We also received some of the best feedback that we've ever received, especially regarding our two brand new presentations. The first one obviously explaining why vehicle registration is unconstitutional. Of course, we also provided the High Court ruling that backs that up, as well as our brand new Royal Prerogative presentation. So please, if you missed Tuesday night's radio show, make sure you listen to that podcast, because in addition to all the wonderful information and articles that we went through, we also went through the very specific feedback that we received. So you can see exactly what people who were there on the days actually were reporting back to us. And please do keep in mind that our Melbourne events are now just 3 weeks away. 3 weeks tomorrow, May the 31st, Friday, May the 31st, and Saturday and Sunday, the 1st and 2nd of June. So please make sure you secure your seats to those events or any of the other events around the country via the links on our seminar page. Again, you'll find a link in the comments and also in the description of this video. Okay, so finally, to finish off with some of the latest memes to get people thinking. Now we're talking about the withdrawal of AstraZeneca, and and it reminded me of this insanity. People forget so easily about the madness of what people were convinced to do. As it says there, thank God the virus, can't move sideways. I mean, these 1.5 meter things there, and you're standing right next to someone in another queue. I mean, it makes no sense. It never made any sense. And, I don't want people to ever forget, the insanity that they were brainwashed with, or that their friends or family members or co-workers were brainwashed with. Yes, now, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, okay? Please understand this. This is what it is all about. It is all about control. Okay, it's not about convenience. It's not about security. It's not about the rest of the rubbish they keep spouting in the mainstream media. It's all about control. If you can move every human into a digital concentration camp, empty their bank account at any time you want, and tell them what they can and cannot spend money on, you've got complete control. Okay, and that's a quote attributed to Catherine Austin Fitts. So by all means, look it up and confirm it for yourselves, but it makes perfect sense. And again, on that same point of CBDCs, this follows on directly. Okay, it's all about control. Okay, this was always their end goal. Digital ID is required to roll out the CBDC. Digital currency CBDC is required to roll out social, in brackets, carbon credit scoring. Once you have digital ID, CBDC, and social credit score, they own every aspect of your life. Your home, travel, heating, money, food, everything. Carbon footprint tracker for everyone. A global carbon tax. Okay, this is what they're pushing for. This is what they're moving towards. This is what their end goal is. Keep it in mind and object at every single opportunity. Now, there is good news, and I always love to finish on a high note, on a positive note, to inspire and empower people. And I want to leave you with this, okay? Because I've said it many, many times before, we the people have the power, okay? And this spells it out really, really, really clearly. So it says, their plan backfired and they know it. They fear you. They fear you being awake. They fear you waking up others. They fear you being armed. They fear you speaking up. They fear you speaking out. They fear you standing up. They fear you resisting. They fear you rebelling. They fear you revolting. They fear you coordinating. They fear you organizing. They fear you binding together. They fear you standing together. They fear you won't comply. They fear you realizing you don't need them. They fear you realizing that you have the power. They fear you using that power, and they fear you realizing that you are the majority. Again, they fear you. So always keep that in mind. Don't buy into the fear tactics. Don't buy into the scare tactics. Don't buy into all the rubbish. Keep standing your ground and keep fighting back on every single front at every single opportunity. So I'm going to leave things there for tonight. As always, I do urge you to please make use of all of the various resources that are available to you. Of course, these video updates are completely free to watch every Thursday night. Our radio show is completely free to listen to every Tuesday night. There's tons of free information on our website. Use all of those resources to please get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. We do need that this year more than ever before. Okay, if you want to go above and beyond those resources, obviously we do have our Know Your Rights book, the essential step-by-step manual for understanding and exercising your rights. That Aussie Spreading Fines book, as I said, these guys have been around for 17 years. Their systems work if you work the process. It's just that easy. Okay, we know a lot of people are genuinely struggling financially, so please stop throwing good money after bad at these personal loans, these unsecured credit cards, cards, things like that, they can be written off, discharged very, very simply using that 4-step process. Again, you can get these books individually. You can get them all together as part of the combo pack. And the combo pack does include, of course, that Know Your Rights tote bag, just as a little extra bonus. We like to do as much as we can for people. Don't forget, we do have our Know Your Rights caps and beanies. Again, we had more reports on the weekend of people who've been wearing their caps and beanies around, and people have come up and chatted to them, and they've made friendships and all that sort of stuff. People see the logo, they come up, have a chat, and it's a great opportunity to meet like-minded people. And of course, if you can't get to our live events for one reason or another, we urge you to do whatever you can to get there. But if you can't, please make sure you grab a copy of that home study course. It is a complete recording of one of those 2.5-day events. There's 3 custom-made workbooks. There's sections there to write notes next to every single slide from every single presentation in the comfort of your own home. You can pause, rewind, fast forward, whatever you like. It is a brilliant resource that you'll come back to again and again and again over the years, I promise you. All right, so I'm going to leave things there. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. A very, very special shout out to all the wonderful mothers out there, including, of course, my own. I hope you all have a very happy Mother's Day on Sunday. We will be back with our next live radio show on Tuesday night, and of course our next live video update on Thursday night. Until then, take care.